Welcome to the Times Podcast.
Welcome to the Times Sound Podcast. My name is Pete Feedies.
You clash, you cast your country, set your name or your tribe. There's people always dying, trying to keep them alive. There's bodies decomposing in containers tonight, in an abandoned building where the squatters made a mural of a Mexican girl with 15 cans of spray paint in a chemical swirl. She's standing in the ashes at the end of the world, four winds blowing through her hair. But when great Satan's gone, the whore of Babylon, well, she just can't sustain the pressure where it's placed. She caves.
I'm in a hotel room with
Conor Oberst.
Conor Oberst from Bright Eyes. Have you ever been Bright Eyes purely? Have you ever been the only person in Bright Eyes? I never quite know.
The very first records we made, I did it on 4-track, pretty much by myself. I mean, there's some other friends played on it, but it sort of started as a kind of a lo-fi 4-track project.
So it's been gradually kind of pushing out like the very universe itself.
Yeah, exactly, man. I always find that strange when they talk about the universe expanding,
Yeah.
because it doesn't invite the question of what's beyond that wall.
Of course.
I know, I've been reading about time. That gets weird when you start thinking about how it's so flexible.
That can't be good when you're on tour.
Yeah.
When you're on tour and you haven't been to your house in 78 days, I don't think it's a good idea to talk about the relative
You're right.
merits of time. How is the tour going?
It's going well. We've been basically on the road since February, so
Wow.
it's getting to that weird middle stage of you don't quite know which way's up, but
Well, this being summer 2007, and so you would have been on tour since before Casadaga, the album, came out.
that's true. Yeah,
So it's interesting. You will have seen the reactions of the fans changing as they get to know the songs.
that's true too. Yeah, I find that as it goes on, especially returning to a town again, like we played London whenever it was in March or something, and then came back, and yeah, it seems like there's more enthusiasm for the new songs, which is good.
Can you tell then by that process which are the songs that are kind of growing upon people? There are songs that where the appreciation seems to kind of peak at a different time to certain other songs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's more of just a general feeling, It's hard to. It'd be great if we had one of those clap monitors on stage, so when they applause and then we could see really which songs are working. But
You can make that happen.
yeah, what do they call those? Do those have a name?
It's a clapometer.
Clapometer. Yeah, we need one of those.
Well, the current album Casadaga is a fantastic album, and in common with so much of your other music. And what I really love about it is that you can really just get a sense of being in the room. You don't seem too precious about some of the other ultimately pointless things that certain songwriters can often be precious about. It's important to hear the room, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I've always been a fan of recordings that kind of take you into a different place and where the songs kind of exist in something other than the sterile sort of studio silent dead space. And so we've tried to incorporate different
And the band is sounding great at the moment. I mean, there's the new single Breakman being a great example of it at the moment, with a bit of that Al Cooper Wild Mercury sound that we first heard on Blonde, I would imagine.
Yeah, I like it's a good record.
That's a great sound. I think that keyboard sound. I just don't think we've heard it enough over the course of time, over the decades.
Yeah, there's nothing like a good Leslie speaker.
Is it a Leslie speaker? So you've
yeah,
trumped my technical knowledge.
Yeah. They're the spinning ones. They're like as big as refrigerators, and they have the spinning horns in them. We actually have a travel version of one on tour with us, and it makes that crying sound.
I never thought of running. My feet just lay I'm a repeat, first time offender who has rewritten history. Mix up tea leaves.
So you've not been home for a long time then?
I haven't. Well, I was home.
What
We've
is-
had like a week off.
What is home at the moment? Where do you divide your time?
Well, I have a house in Omaha, and I have a apartment in New York City, and I kind of been going, back and forth. I've been staying in Omaha lately. We just built this studio, and
What do you miss about Omaha when you're not there?
mostly the people.
I read somewhere that the local record shop called Homer's, where you bought your first records. Is that right?
Oh, it's close. It was actually, that is a chain of record stores in Omaha, in Nebraska, but the record store that was sort of our place was called the Antiquarium, and that's where we used to buy all our records and hang out, smoke cigarettes, just like that.
So it's
that movie about the record store.
High Fidelity.
Yeah, it's like exactly like that.
So a proper hangout record shop.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And what would you have bought from there?
Oh, at the time I was real excited about kind of Pavement and kind of indie rock, Superchunk, and I don't know, all that stuff in the early '90s, Fugazi, and
You must have been
things.
the typical impressive to older kids, pubescent indie rocker.
I suppose so. I mean, I was always kind of tagging along with the older kid.
You
All
had an
my
older brother,
friends-
didn't you?
Yeah. I have a couple older brothers, and all my friends were, my good friends that I played in bands with were all kind of like 4 or 5 years older than me. So
And were your brother's friends saying, "Hey, you've got a really cool younger brother"?
I think I was a novelty at first, because I was writing songs and
You're writing songs as well.
Yeah,
Your brother
I was
must have hated you.
playing guitar and screaming at coffee shops, and I think it was more of just like a look at that freak.
Really? So it could have gone two ways with your older brothers. Did they could have either thought you were cramping their style,
Mm-hmm.
or they could have been secretly very proud of it, or maybe both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think probably. I know one of them never really gave a shit at all, but the other one maybe.
Was he on a different path in life? Is that why?
Yeah, he's just a special person. He is.
Does he have
He's a lawyer now.
like a proper job? Well, that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
What branch of law?
He actually works for an environmental non-profit law firm in Washington D.C. And he, which is very funny because he's not like a tree hugger. He's like the opposite. He's like he's the most cynical. Like he'll just, he'll argue with you about anything you bring up to him. He'll take the other side even if he doesn't believe it. Which
But maybe the
makes
tree
for a good
hugging
lawyer, I guess.
tree hugging organisation